Tatsalach. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Beth Piatote. I'm the director of the Arts Research Center. Please help yourself to food and get comfortable. We're here for the Loft Hour, which is 1 hour a month where we get to hear all the cool things our colleagues are doing here at Berkeley. My role today is to introduce our moderator, Ann Walsh, who will then introduce our presenters, Xandra Ibarra and Matthew EvanTaylor. Before I do that, I would like to note that this is the 25th anniversary year for the Arts Research Center. So please grab some of our cool swag. We have bingo cards, 25 events for 25 years. We also have these cool adverts for future Loft Hours, including next month when we will have skipping over all of winter break, straight to February will be our next Loft Hour with Chris Batterman, Juarez, and Kathy Liu on February 12th. We love Chris, too. We love them all. Also, if you're feeling arty, be sure and make yourself a bookmark. Can't steal my fill in the blank. Our words today are vision, courage, and voice. So over here, make your mark. Okay, finally, at the end of our presentation today, stick around because we are giving away 25th anniversary swag. We have very cool screen printed t-shirts and a bonus gift. So without further ado, I will introduce Professor Ann Walsh. Ann Walsh is an interdisciplinary artist, writer, and performer, a professor in the Department of Art Practice, and an affiliate faculty member of the Arts Research Center. Walsh's book, Hello, Leonora, Soy Ann Walsh, which came out in 2019 from No Place Press and MIT Press, epitomizes the aggressively indexical, personal, and analytical nature of her practice. It is a visual and written adaptation of Leonora Carrington's 1950 fantastical feminist novella, The Hearing Trumpet. She frequently engages collaborators in the retelling of histories and the translating of texts. This process of making, with its risks, desires, and failures, gives unstable shape to her completed art, which has been exhibited extensively, including the Whitney Museum of American Art, Royal College of Art London, Southern Exposure, and the Museum of Contemporary Art in Los Angeles, and the J. Paul Getty Museum, just to name a few. She received her MFA in art at the California Institute of the Arts and her BA in art history from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. Ann Walsh teaches video art, performance art, creative writing, and graduate seminars. Welcome, our interlocutor, Ann Walsh.
I'm also really grateful for this opportunity today because I didn't know Matthew's work at all before we met this fall, and really glad to have had the chance to to get to know his work a little bit, and to be honest, asked him to share some of it today instead of just sharing documentation of it. So I'm really glad that's going to happen. And the same with Xandra, who is my colleague in art practice, and I really love thinking with her and fucking shit up with her too, so yay for that. I am gonna introduce them both. I'll start with Xandra, actually, because Matthew's gonna go first, and I don't know, somehow that makes sense to me. So Xandra Ibarra is my colleague in art practice, where she's an assistant professor teaching sculpture, performance, and various ways that they can intersect and incite who knows what. She works across performance, video, and sculpture, addressing abjection and joy and the borders between proper and improper racialized, gendered, and queer subjects. Her work has been featured at the Broad Museum in LA, ExTeresa Arte Actual in Mexico City, the Leslie-Lohman Museum in New York City, the One Archives in LA, and the Anderson collection at Stanford, just to name a very few. She received the very prestigious Creative Capital Award, the Queer Art Prize for recent work, the Art Matters Grant, the Eisner Film and Video Prize, many others. And her work has also been featured in magazines like Art in America, Artforum, Frieze, Hyperallergic, ArtNews, and many academic journals and books nationally and internationally. She's also a community organizer. Her work is located within feminist, anti-rape, and prison abolitionist movements. She's actively participated in organizing INCITE and Survived and Punish, both national feminist of color organizations dedicated to creating interventions at the intersection of state and interpersonal violence. She holds an MFA from UC Berkeley in the Department of Art Practice, an MA in Ethnic Studies from San Francisco State, and she attended the Post Colonial Studies program at Universidat Rovira in Spain. Yay. Composer and multi-instrumentalist Dr. Matthew Evan Taylor has been hailed as a risk taker who has wrestled with the societal boundaries of Black artistry only to blast them apart. By making music that is insistent and defiant, envelopingly hypnotic. His work includes concert music, such as Okusa for Damascus, commissioned by the Next Festival for Emerging Artists. For string orchestra, chamber music like Get Up, commissioned by Timothy McAllister for alto saxophone and piano. Online streaming projects, most notably, and I really recommend that you watch these, some of the best work that I've seen that was made because of and about COVID, about the sort of depredations of COVID, called Postcards to the Met, commissioned by the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which has, whoa, didn't know this, accrued over 500,000 views on Instagram. And free improvisations, as in his acclaimed Unheard mixtapes, commissioned by Metropolis Ensemble. Taylor calls his recent work Afro-Numaism, a liberatory practice that centers the human breath as a primary organizational structure of music. These compositions subvert the accepted assumptions of virtuosity, precision, and the sublime, while harnessing the breathing process as a means to celebrate the humanity of performers and their witnesses. He's an assistant professor of composition in the Department of Music, where he teaches composition, music analysis, and improvisation. Really excited for both of these artists today, so please welcome them, and I'll turn it over to Matthew.
Thank you, Anne. I used to never need these. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Beth, and Lori, all of the Arts Research Center. So excited to meet Xandra now and to see their work. Thank you all for coming. Most people I don't know. I'm suspecting a lot from art practice and community members and students. My name is Matthew EvanTaylor, and today I'm going to give you a little overview, kind of flesh out what was in my bio a little bit about Afro-Numaism, and then we're all going to participate in a performance of an Afro-Numatic work. Afro-Numaism comes out of really comes out of COVID, most kind of explicitly, but also is kind of reflective of a lifelong kind of fascination with the breath. I'm a wind player. Saxophone is my primary instrument. And so one of the things that you come to understand about like playing classical music, for instance, as a saxophonist, is the composer really doesn't want you to breathe. And if you do breathe, hide that shame, right? And so I always had that kind of tension with it, even learned techniques like circular breathing to help avoid breathing during a piece of music or giving the illusion that I'm not breathing. But in the pandemic, that was a time, I think, for a lot of us and creators where we had to really wrestle with our own practices and stuff. And for me, my practice had always been community-based, and I was realizing that I needed to find a practice that really honored that need for community, but also expanded beyond what what we think of as music allowing to accept. And so, I looked into my past and started really taking inspiration from Black culture. Like I mentioned hymnlining here. How many of you have seen "O Brother, Where Art Thou"? Okay, it's Coen Brothers' adaptation of the Odyssey, and towards the end of the movie, there are these grave diggers, and they start singing. They're African American men, and they start singing, and they sing in the style of hymnlining, where it's a call and response. But imagine, instead of there 4 people, imagine being a 6-year-old kid in a church, and one person sings, and then 200 people respond, but not like in unison. They're taking their own paths and everything. And so what I came to realize is that my own kind of understanding of musical time has always been splintered like this. I've not had the necessity for like everybody lining up. And then a lot of my favorite music, the music of Charles Mingus or Parliament Funkadelic, these aren't highly precise or in the ways that we think of precision. They are precise as far as like they know exactly when to play the right note at the right time so it feels funky and you want to dance, or you want to hear more in a solo, or it expresses something about Black pain or Black joy. So I at first, this is kind of a timid thing. You really are like, can I do it? And so when I find out that I asked that question, I always kind of write a piece that I'm like, I have no idea if this works at all, and I'm just going to put it out there in case and just be ready for embarrassment. So my first commission outside of the pandemic was in May of 2022, and I wrote this piece called "Breathe," and all it was 8 notes, and I say, okay, 10 musicians of any any instrumentation, you'll come and play this with me, and we'll do it in canon. And it worked out. And so I didn't die, as I like to say. So we can get into these a little later, but so since then I've had 13 works total. And for my brain, I like to think in series. So like so many of my projects since 2020 are these long sprawling like 12-part series that I do. So I started coming up with genres within this practice. So Breathe, that first piece, is going to be the first of what I hope to be many breathes, each studying some different aspect of musical time. Pneuma, these are my small kind of intimate chamber works. And with these, I'm looking to experiment also with the chamber works with making them modular so that they could, like, for instance, my third pneuma is for violin and cello, but it could be played as a duet or played as two separate solo pieces. And so I'm really interested in that. Okusa is a string, like for string orchestra or larger, so kind of think of tone poems or symphonies as the closest analog in classical repertoire. And then respires are for kind of established string quartet, saxophone quartet, wind quintet type pieces. And then Afro Pneuma, that's the newest one. I just premiered that one in New York at the Brooklyn Botanic Garden. And those are more meditative pieces meant to be more like sound baths than the other works. And then we are going to perform a Suspire today, the first one. And then there are other works that kind of fit in any one of these categories, but I kind of like that they're just my cuties over on the side here, you know. Yeah, so today we're going to do an etude. So the Suspire was written for Molly Zuckerman-Hartung, our kind of newest colleague at UCLA, who writes zines from time to time, and she asked me to submit this for Styles of Chewing. And I don't know what horror I was thinking about at this time, because she asked me in March, so there could have been any number of things that was going on in our wonderful country. But at first I was going to try to just write a prose thing, but it just felt like I needed to use this as an opportunity to expand Afro-Numism. And so here it is. So before we get started, the symbol on the left means inhale, the symbol on the right means exhale. When we start breathing, I'm going to do a gesture that inform this symbol. So the gesture is, this is inhale, and this is exhale, okay? And this is going to be a performance for all of us. There'll be instructions for you to speak or to hum or anything. For the speaking parts, you can whisper or you can speak full-throated. I'm really interested in seeing how this translates here. It may take me longer. In fact, I promise you it'll take me longer to get through the score than you. So if you find that you're waiting for the next slide, just do whatever that last inhale, exhale is on the page. There are going to be 2 slides, or including this one, 3 slides for the piece. Okay. All right, so let's begin. This is a piece for you, you and your family, you and your friends, you and your enemies. Respect all aspects of your breath, the stillness, the inhale, the pause, the exhale, the stillness, the inhale, the pause, the exhale, the inhale. We have been taught to sublimate our breaths for the bottom line, We are told that who we are and what we can, can't, won't, don't do disqualifies us from our right to breathe. 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 I hope you will perform this in the privacy of your home. I hope you will perform this in view of everyone, the whole world. I hope you will perform this with any and all comers. I hope that you will remember that you deserve to breathe as much as you need, you like, you can, on and on until the fulfillment of time. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to say that after after what just happened, after what we've just done together, sitting back in these rows and us behind this table already feels crazy. Yeah, which I really appreciate. I mean, I appreciate that what you just did makes this seem as almost military as it feels like it is right now. So I want to put that right out there. And then I just wanted to. I'm actually going to put you guys both. I'm going to repeat something that I just overheard being said between Matthew and Xandra, which is that those two pieces could have been in any order, could have been in either order. And I guess I want to know why that's true for both of you guys.
Well, I guess, I think the expected order would be the kind of calm before the storm, but calm comes on either side of a storm, and comes in the middle of a storm if you're if you lived in Miami like I did. It's the contrasts of the kind of the density in the sound space is potent, but like we're both kind of coming at similar desires from opposite directions, and so it felt very balanced to me doing that, and it feels like we could just keep swapping between them in any order.
One thing that I noticed was that the chairs became another instrument in this room, both the making of the pile and then the unmaking of the pile, that sound became the beginning of your performance in a way. Well, there was your beautiful curse. But wait, we did the chairs first, yeah. And I felt like that was a kind of, like a sonic element that I liked as a link to what you did. I'm just going to admit that my job right now, which is to like quote unquote moderate, which really, I like thinking about that in terms of, that there's a fight or a contest, and I don't feel that there's a fight or a contest to moderate at all. There's like two approaches to kind of a similar thing. So it feels really wrong to me to be the like, to now get smart and ask some intelligent questions. So I feel I'm actually gonna refuse that. I'm gonna refuse that job, and I just want to say, like, we are now one group of participants who received two different kinds of blessings and curses, both, and participated in both. So I just want to actually go right to you guys and say anything that anyone wants to offer, that's where it should be right now.
I do want to say, we went into like the QR space, all the like, hello, okay. All the pro Gaza posters, which is like.
I know. I didn't even know where I was. That was really cool.
Yeah. I felt kind of, I don't know, talking back. I don't know.
Well, I just first want to say thank you both for sharing your practice today. And kind of in regards to that, I specifically want to ask, it sounds like you were very amped up after this experience, and I'm curious if there's any insights for either of you that help you to, like, encourage you to access space to be able to reach that vulnerability inside of yourself. And I felt like both of you just had such an authentic, we call it performance, but really it just felt so integrated into the space and the audience. So I'm wondering if you have any insights around that, the preparation, the mindset, or the rituals you do before performing.
I don't have my spell syllabary, so I can't do that. But I think for me, I'm an improviser first, and And so what I've learned from improvisation is to embrace immediacy. And it's really a blessing and a curse because what'll end up happening often is that I can really access the core of me as a performer quickly, but then I will forget the performance within the next couple hours. So I don't get to have, I still get like the adrenaline shift down and everything, but I'm like, why am I feeling like this, you know? Instead of like having had that experience recorded on my brain. So yeah, I think I don't have rituals going into a performance necessarily. I just, as I've progressed as an improviser, I just have been able to shed more and more layers between my inner performer and the performance.
Anyone else want to grab the mic?
Hi. I'm sort of curious because both of you had written parts to what we all participated in today. So I'm just curious if the community participation came at the start of what you were both working on or how it became incorporated into the work that you both did.
Oh, I've never thought of it. So I think for me, it starts with memory, and it starts with again that memory of hemlining and kind of, you couldn't say people are in sync with each other, but they were in sync with each other, and I just always found that, like I think in one slide I said messy synchronization, just this idea that we could all be in sync, completely united, but it's not this, to borrow your term, militaristic precision. We're all marching in one. It's all actually much more for, like, if we're protecting ourselves, it's kind of much more awesome and intimidating if we're all doing our own things, but all moving as one into one direction, right? And so when I was writing this piece specifically, what the actual motivation was is that I wanted to communicate directly to the reader, and find a way to bring them into my sound world, and to enter breath time with me, even though I'm not there with them. And so overall, like, part of my project with Afro-Numism is recontextualizing the audience and renaming them as witnesses as opposed to this passive group that gets to watch me. No, if you're witnessing me, then you have a story to tell about me. You have to react. You have to have some sort of investment in what I'm doing. And I just always loved hearing James Baldwin talk about witness, and I was like, oh yeah, I know exactly what he means, and this is what I want for my music. The spell was like stronger because you were walking backwards. It was like a practical effect of like what.
Scary movie?
Yeah, almost like we were all kind of transporting in forward in time, and you were going backward in time. Like at a certain point, I was like, if she starts doing Missy Elliott like backwards talk, that'd be dope. But
She's going into
yeah. But also, I loved the touch because you were vibrating. At least when and so like now hearing that you were nervous about the touching, it's like, oh, that makes sense. Like you were kind of transferring that energy to us, but I feel like it got transformed. Like it felt like we were all together, right?
Yeah,
So when we move the chairs around, I don't know, two of these chairs have a little thing stuck to them that says, "You are a winner." There's one here that's empty, so. Ozma. Okay. So we have two of these beautiful screen printed shirts. Who's the other winner? We have multiple sizes, so. All right, so come up afterwards. And before you go, we have notebooks for anyone who's inspired. So if keep this art train going. Come get your notebook. Come up here. And then go out, forward, backward, however you want. But come back. Thank you.